All right, cool. Let's get started.
Let's do it, man.
All right, cool. Ace, man.
How you
Appreciate
feel?
you coming.
Appreciate you having me, Rick.
Yeah. It's been a little while since I saw you, but
Definitely.
of course we follow each other on Instagram and been watching you working and the things you've been doing, man. I know you're doing a lot of great stuff. Well, just for people who don't know, what are all the things that you do? What do you?
I consider myself a producer first and foremost, but mainly I've been like a recording engineer for as long as I can remember now. You know what I mean? But there's that. I do production, obviously. I play a couple instruments, a little bit of writing, like pretty much encompassing anything that has to do with making records. You know, I've done also like, I don't want to say like movie scores or anything like that, but like little clips and things that go with commercial music as well.
Oh, okay.
But mainly I focus on like recorded music and you know, albums and singles and that type of stuff.
Are you into scoring and like movie scoring and stuff like that?
I would like to be in the future. I love listening to scores, obviously. You know, they're a great source of like inspiration and, you know, just like mind expanding when it comes to producing music. But I haven't done much of it yet, you know what I mean? But it is something I'm looking forward to for sure.
Dope.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. Well, you know, I've always enjoyed the times that we've spent at, you know, the studio when I've met up with you guys. You've always had a dope energy about you. Very easy to work with.
Likewise. Yeah.
You know what
Appreciate
I mean?
it for sure.
And so let's dive into your Instagram.
Let's do it.
And see what you got going on.
For sure.
All right, cool. So here your handle is ace.sowritemusic.
Yep.
So explain that name. Break it down for me.
So the first part, Ace, I got the name because my cousin and we started making music together when we were young. And it's funny because at first he was going to be Ace and I was going to be Deuce because he's a little bit older. For some reason he was like, nah, look, I like Deuce, you know, you can be Ace, this and that, and it kind of stuck. So Write Music just comes from my company. That's what I named my audio company. So I just made my handle my company, branded it, you know what I mean? Make sure I'm pushing it every chance I get.
Nice.
Yeah,
and Write, why Write?
So it almost felt like, because when we make music, you know, composing and being an author, they call it writing. Even if we're like making beats or anything, it's technically called writing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not doing it with like a pen and a paper anymore where I'm filling out like notes on a piece of, you know what I mean? Like Beethoven used to write, but it's technically still writing. So I thought it was like a cool little play on words, like so write music, you know what I mean? Like,
nice.
And that's kind of my answer for things. Like if you're feeling happy, go write some music. You feel me? If you're feeling like whatever you're going through, that's usually the answer for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So.
And writing music, because you got to write on the, what is it called, the staff or something like that?
Yep, the staff sheet.
You got to write so it makes sense. Cool.
Yeah,
and it says musician, band, soul write music, producer, mixing, recording. Yeah, so when I first met you, I think it was at Danger's studio, right?
Yep. Yeah, with Rico.
With Rico, he was engineering for them. What are some of the people you've worked with?
Obviously Rico Love. He's introduced me to a bunch of people, but I've also worked with a lot of like Spanish artists. With Rico, I've worked with like Dream Doll and you know, a host of different people. Lil Duval was one of the people. Like we've worked on some incredible records and some like.
Did you work on a Smile record?
Nah, I wish. That would have been incredible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But when we were working with Duval, Rico and we worked on a record that was like in that lane, you know what I mean? Something where it was very uplifting, positive, but obviously Rico's R&B. Yeah. So his stuff is more like in that lane, you feel me?
Yeah,
but it was dope, man.
But he used to rap too, right?
Yeah.
He can rap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rico,
I think I've seen some old videos of him.
Dangerous.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive in here to your latest post.
Yeah.
This is Romeo, right? From Aventura.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah. This is his latest single?
So this was the last track on the last album that he just put out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, dope. How was it working with him?
I didn't get a chance to work with him directly as far as recording. But through Danger, because Danger did 2 records on his project. The single, which is called Scene Fiend, and then this one, which is called Nirvana. So they were working on a couple records, and I've been able, thankfully, to have the opportunity to work with Danger more closely recently. And as they were wrapping up this song, you know, he was going through a couple things, and he's the type of person to like really give people opportunities. So he was like, listen, man, you know, I think this needs a couple little vocal effects. Like, you know, he knows I go crazy with the vocal effects when it comes to Pro Tools and stuff like that. So he's like, you know, do a couple things on that, and also any sort of like beat changes or anything you hear, see if you can add anything to it. Like, they already had the track, everything was written and everything. But it's called like post-production, like, you know, post-production is just adding stuff after. And he gave us the opportunity, me and another guy, we had the opportunity to add a couple things, and it was just like...
Oh, so more than just like mixing, and he let you put some instrumentations in there.
Yeah. Which is cool, you know, because it's like, it's, you know, a rare opportunity. And then on the other hand, it's also a very subtle way to add in things that, you know, make you who you are creatively. So I felt like I was able to do that with that for sure.
Nice. That's great. And of course, you got your credit in there and everything.
For sure.
Nice. So this is the collaboration between you guys.
Correct. Yeah. So Danger's the main producer. Then Incredible Lago, she's like his secret weapon. You know, she does all the mixing for him. She's his partner when it comes to like, they have a few artists and all this. But she's mainly a mixing engineer. You know what I mean? But they've been partners for a long time. So she ended up mixing the song too.
Nice.
Which, you know, Romeo is like, he's cool about that, because obviously when it's his album, it's a bachata-based album and all these things. Usually he'll just have his team work on the records. But he trusts Danger enough to know that, like, you know, when it comes to certain records, obviously Marcella's going to have her input. You know what I mean? Jade Omari is one of their artists that they're pushing now. She's about to start coming out with music. And she helped Romeo write. Like, they wrote the record together. You know what I mean? Like, Danger kind of presented, I guess, him with the idea, like, hey, what do you think if we have her write? Because he had heard a couple of her records and was like, you know, she's dope. Obviously, she's a great writer. She's a really good vocalist, like all these things. So it just made sense, you know. And then Nito, he's another one of the producers that works with Danger, and he's the guy that I was telling you about that. We both were able to like throw in a couple things and like tweak the record for real. You know?
Dope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I had on one of my previous episodes, I told a story about Romeo when I met him. I met him once, and it was at the Latin Billboard Awards years ago. How was that? The Billboard Awards was amazing. And I was backstage at one of the, I think it was called something Essentials or something like that, where they, you know, they give away the gifts to the artists when they come through. They get to take whatever they want, right? The goodie bags, yeah. And then I'm standing in the room, and Aventura, the whole group walks in to go to do their rounds. And as I'm standing on the side, Romeo looks over, and he sees me, and he's like, what's up? He's like saying what's up to me. I'm looking around like, yo, is he talking to me? Like, and then he goes, yo, what's up? And then he taps the other guy, and he's like, pointing at me, and I'm like, what? Like, how? Why is he? And then he walks over, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. And then he's like shaking my hand. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, man. And he calls his other boy over. He goes, yo, come in, come meet T.I. No, he thought I was. There's no way. He thought I was like, no, bro, I'm not T.I. I said, oh, my bad. He's like, my bad. I thought you were T.I. Way. And I've gotten that a couple times. I had to tell him, like, yo, nah, look, that's not me. He swore I was T.I., bro. That's funny, bro. It was crazy. Okay, dope. That's pretty good. But yeah, he's a great artist, man. I've listened to him before. Yeah, he's really cool. I mean, I've met him. I ended up meeting him, but I didn't work directly with him on that record, you know. But yeah, he's cool. He's been a cool guy the times I've met him. Nice. And then as I go through this too, if you see something you'd like to stop and kind of talk about, let me know. I like this photo right here. I want to stop here. What's this about? So this is Daddy Yankee. Yep. This is also on his latest album. This record actually was up for a Grammy, I believe. Oh, nice. Yeah. And you did what on this?
So they called me in. I know the producers that did the record. We have a really good relationship. They knew how I get down with recording and all these things, and they were, given the opportunity also by Daddy Yankee to pretty much produce or executive produce this last album. They ended up producing a few of the records on there, like 5 or 6 of the songs in total, but they had a hand in shaping it, But with this record, Daddy Yankee wanted to get Nile Rodgers. He's the guy from Chic that he also did Daft Punk, the Get Lucky. He's the guitarist from all the classic records that we know and love. You know what I mean? He's and he's a really cool guy too. But I had the opportunity. They were like, "Hey, listen, we got this session. We know you're really good. You know how to record instruments and all these things. We need this." And I was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna be there." You know what I mean? So we pulled up. It was a session. So I think Daddy Yankee signed to Sony. Don't quote me on it. I'm not 100% sure. But we went to Sony has a studio down here. They set up the session. We went over there, and it was just cool, bro. Because all they needed to do was guitars, but they needed the best.
To sound the best.
Exactly, the best guitars. But it was really great, man. The guy's a class act. And honestly, I had been trying to learn guitar myself for a couple of years on and off, just picking it up. Because as a producer, it's like another tool. You know what I mean? And it was really cool to see his process and actually get to interact with him. Because he's like one of the most known guitarists that, especially in the kind of music that I like listening to. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was really a really great opportunity, and I'm very happy how it came out. To be honest with you.
That's dope, man. And Daddy Yankee's a big name too. So
huge, bro. Huge.
I love his what's that song he got that he redid the Informer song?
Yes,
bro. I love that record
with Snow.
I love that record. I love the video. Fire, bro.
That's the thing. Everything he does is top.
Yeah,
it's gotta be. It's gotta be. Man.
I remember he did one of the award shows. And they were filming something at the Hard Rock, and was it the Hard Rock? And they had him riding around on a jet ski in the big lake thing in front.
That's so crazy.
Yo, Daddy Yankees,
They went in.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one.
I would like to point out that middle one, too.
This middle one here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a record.
Oh, Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. So this is a record. It's called Brace It. It was produced by a good friend of mine, Don Corleone. I feel like you met him. You met Don, right? Yeah. He had the opportunity to work with this artist, and she brought him the song. Like, hey, look, I got this feature, this really big feature. Like, I want you to produce it, this and that. And he loves the way we work together. He mixes, but he also likes the way I mix, or at least my approach to mixing. So when it came to this song, he was like, look, I got this record. It's got Ed Sheeran on it, and I want you to mix it with me. And I was like, well, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? This is incredible. So it was really cool. We rented out Criteria, the mixing room that we liked. He's like, yo, whichever room you want, grab that, and we'll make it work. You know what I mean? And it was a really cool process. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro.
That's what's up. Yeah,
so
Don Corleone.
Yeah, shout out to Don Corleone for that, for sure.
My boy. Do you know Vegas?
Nah,
Vegas
I don't know Vegas.
Yeah, I
heard of him. I know of him. I just don't know him personally. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've known him since high school. We're friends from high school.
Oh, that's dope.
And when I was living in LA, Vegas came out, and he was with Don Corleone for I think maybe, if not a year or two or something like that, just working. So I'd stop by and check them out at Don's house sometime, and they'd be just making
cooking
records.
Bro, Don's nasty, man.
Yeah. And when you sit back and you think about the records he's done, damn.
An incredible catalog, back to back.
Insane. And funny, when I first met him, Vegas just told me, yo, come through, I'm here. And I went, but I didn't know who Don was at that time.
Right,
and he
course.
was like, oh yeah, this is Don. And then when we sitting there and he's telling me, oh yeah, this is Don who done this. I'm like, oh, snap.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is serious.
The man is a beast.
Yeah, man.
Well, let's stop at this lucky 7 here. 777. Who's this?
So this is a group called Piso 21. 21st floor is the translation. They're dope, man. They've been around for a couple years already, but they're getting a lot more traction now. And it's really cool because when you watch them work, they're really like, it's like a brotherhood. You know what I mean? They're very open with each other. They help each other write. They help each other figure out lyrics. Like, they're self-sufficient.
Is it 3 of them?
There's 3 singers, and then the 4th member is like a musician. So he's the one that plays all the bass, guitars.
Okay.
He knows how to play the piano very well, all these things. And the way this record came about was I have a really good relationship with Trevor at Criteria, so he ends up calling me for sessions and all these things, which is great. And he called me once like, hey, listen, these guys are here. They've been on a 2-week run. Like, they had a string of sessions for 2 weeks. And for whatever reason, for the last day, the engineer that they were using couldn't make it, like some schedule conflict. She's like, hey, if you're down to jump in. And I'm like, of course, I'll be honored to fill in. Like, I like working there and all these things. Like, he always puts me with really good sessions, and this was no exception. You know what I mean? So originally they were gonna have a specific, like a big Spanish producer. They had already talked to him. They were gonna work on a record for that day and everything. And for whatever reason, the guy couldn't make it. Lo and behold, one of the members, he actually knows how to program. He likes making beats too. He's not let's say a producer mainly, but obviously he knows his way around it. And he was like, screw it, we'll just do it ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, we got the musician. He's incredible. This guy named Profe, he's the guy that plays the guitar and everything. He was just like, yo, let's just start writing. Like, we know how to make chords, you know what I mean? I can lay a quick beat, like, let's just do it. And they wrote the record, and they ended up really, really loving it, you know what I mean? And it was just one of those things that happened in the moment because of necessity type of deal. And from there, actually, it spawned a really cool relationship between myself and them. But they've been great, bro. They've been great, yeah, man.
Yeah, and then all that was in one day?
One day, yeah.
Wrote, produced,
everything.
Yeah,
damn. Right then and there.
That means it was meant to be, man.
Exactly, bro.
I feel like when stuff shifts around like that, out of your control, it's just the universe saying, nah, this needs to be better.
Exactly.
This needs to be a bigger, better situation.
That's a fact.
All the right intentions was in that room.
I agree with that 100%. Bro.
And I love the single record, right? It's just a single or the album?
That's the cover for the album.
For the album,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Lucky Sevens.
Nice. All right, let's see here. Well, I know this. I've seen you post this. Wait, let's go here. This looks a little. That's you in the lab.
Yeah, so that's over there at Danger Studio, Dream Asylum.
And what are you doing here?
So recently he had brought down another one of his artists from where he lives to come work on like the rest of his album. So this was in the middle of that process.
And when you say who, I'm sorry, who?
Danger, my
Danger.
bad. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Danger has his artists coming in and out, like working on different records at different times and stuff. And at this point, we were working on a record for one of his artists, like just trying to finish up an album. We had already started working earlier this year. And again, he's given me a great opportunity to be like, hey, showcase what you got. Like, I like what you bring to the table. Show me what you got, and let's figure these records out, pretty much. So he's been letting me like take point, or run point rather, on this album, which has been really cool. And this was during that process, just show up, cook,
and like,
make
were
a
you
great
like
record.
bringing in beats that you made as well, or are you kind of like revamping stuff he's done?
I had some that I had already had, but for the most part, we were actually just making stuff from scratch. So,
oh wow!
Yeah, so he would just let us come in and like, all right,
Damn.
Yeah, man, show me what you guys got.
Danger's
type
a
of
good
deal.
dude, man.
Incredible dude.
Wow,
Incredible,
wow.
yeah, man.
All right. Yeah, and he's got a nice studio. I love his studio.
Yeah. Super clean, very pristine.
And this is all there too.
This is at Criteria. So this was during a session for an artist that I work with. His name is Truth. He's a Spanish language art. Actually, he's a Spanglish artist. It's something that he's kind of
back and forth.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's going in. But this was during one of his sessions that we did at Criteria.
So what's your favorite, like, out of all the things that you do, what is your favorite to do?
I will say producing, because it's taking a product from A to Z, literally, you know what I mean? From what I'm telling you, making a couple beats, or at least the idea of a beat, and then letting an artist write to it or even a writer write to it and then turning that into a full record, that will definitely always be my favorite. But there's a certain magic that comes into play as an engineer during writing sessions for other people. Like me watching other people work is almost the only reason I still record. Like I love recording, but I'd rather be producing. But there's a magic in watching people write and the colliding, I want to say, of like great ideas in the room. You know what I mean? Creating these magic moments. So I will say producing, but recording is like a very close second.
Yeah.
Just because of the writing aspect, you know.
I guess it's something about the collaboration too.
Yeah, man. And it's very particular, you know, like at least when it comes to engineering, not everybody matches up, you know, engineers with artists or engineers with producers or engineers with writers or whoever. It's definitely a relationship that either has to click or be nurtured, something in that sense. You know what I mean? But it's cool, man. There's a magic in it.
Is engineering, is it, excuse me, is it one of those things where like if you work with an artist and you record their vocals a certain way, that wherever they go, they're like, oh, I want like George to
pretty much
do my vocals because he knows how to. Yeah. Does that happen a lot?
Yeah, definitely. That's how a lot of people end up getting scooped up by artists because they just happen to run into each other or somebody recommends them or something like that. And then they're like, well, we work so well together, we're not working. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's us and we're out of here type of deal. That definitely happens, yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, man.
That's good, man. How long have you been doing this?
Man, I'm about to be 32. I started recording when I was like 13 or something or 12. Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like on my own, you know, just learning things here and there. And then my high school actually had a program for audio engineering and music theory and composition. So it's like producing and recording all in one.
Oh, that's good. So now you can do both.
So I've been going in since.
Nice. All right, let's see here. What's going on right here?
So this is part of that same string of sessions I was telling you. That's my boy Truth. He's the artist that I work with. This is one of those action shots from that night, man. We were working on a couple really cool records. I was able to actually produce one of the records that he did that night, which to this day is still one of our favorite ones. Nothing's come out yet. You know what I mean? We're like right now he's gearing up to
start releasing and stuff.
Yeah. It's gonna be an avalanche too.
That's fire, man. Yeah, you got that focused look on your face.
That's for sure, yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. And all of that is at Danger's studio.
Yeah, well, the one with Truth is at Criteria, and then let's say the ones where you see the screen, that's at my home.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got a home studio as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
I put a little room together. There's nothing, you know, it's nice. You know what I mean? Like nice desk, stand up, and sit and all that. But yeah.
Fire.
The rest of those are definitely, when you see like those cool lights and stuff, that's definitely Danger's studio.
Dangerous spot. Yeah, he's got a really. You know, it's funny enough. Me building this studio right here, I think about Danger's studio.
No way.
And because I remember the way the vibe is, and the color, and the way he's got the lighting.
Yep.
And while I'm building here, I'd literally be thinking about Danger's studio, like, oh, yo, I got to remember how he had this.
For sure.
Even the kitchen, the way he had the kitchen area is beautiful.
Yes, man.
You know,
it's a vibe.
I got and that's what you got to create.
Exactly.
And that's what I liked about when I went there is the vibe of it.
For
you
sure.
feel like you just want to be there all day.
Exactly.
You know, it's comfortable. It's a nice space.
Inviting.
Nice art on the wall. Yeah, it's really dope. And then he's got a good vibe too. He's very chill.
Exactly.
If he doesn't tell you who he is, you probably wouldn't even know.
You would never.
Know.
Yeah.
Because he's so chill, you know? What's this right here?
So this is a cool shot. I took this myself, like a selfie. Oh, I just set my phone up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you got to get content. But this was during a playback gig. So I got into playback recently because I have a friend from like childhood that he's in the same industry, but he went more of the live approach, and I took more of the recording approach. He's done recording as well. He's very skilled at that as well, but he prefers doing a lot of live, you know, shows, playback for artists, you know, doing live mixing for artists, you know, setting up the cue systems, headphones, all these different things, running the auto-tune for him. Like, so he put me onto that game. And this was during one of those gigs it's a show. I was I mean, if you see there's the hashtag says playback operator. That's like the technical term for it. And it's for a show that's supposed to come out on Netflix. It's like a singing competition. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. But it was really cool. Very high quality production. You know, the people were great. Like, everything came out really nice.
Where was this production done?
This was done in Medley.
Medley. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Did they? No,
I think it was at Univision or something like that. One of these big Spanish, you know, it was a Spanish show.
Okay.
It was a Spanish language singing show.
Yeah. I've been to Univision before and Telemundo. I've worked with both of them before.
They got the big vibes.
Yeah. The one on 36th Street, is that Telemundo over there?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's either Telemundo or Univision. One of them is off of 36th Street past the airport.
Got you.
Huge building.
Crazy.
Huge. All right, what you got going on right here? Who's he?
So that's an artist named Dalix, a Spanish artist named Dalix. He's signed to Rich Music. Mm-hmm. He's part of that same label has this guy named Sech signed. Sech is big. Dalix himself is big. Like, they've got a bunch of different, you know, really good artists. And actually, one of their producers is very well known. His name's Dima LaFlo. Mm-hmm. But a production partner of mine is DJ Junior, and he's Dalix's tour DJ. So we were working on records together, doing a bunch of stuff. And then what's cool about this is DJ Junior is also the link between me and Playing Skills, who got me the Daddy Yankee record. So through him, I met them, and that's when we started working and everything. But they also wanted to work with this artist, so he linked them with this artist as well. This was during one of the sessions at Playing Skills Studio. We just pulled up one night. They were like, "Yo, let's set something up so we can come cook and like get a couple records," you know. So this was during that session.
And like, how often do these sessions happen for you? Is it like a daily thing?
Pretty much. Thankfully, it's usually a daily thing. If not, you know, I might take like a day or two where either nothing's coming in or I'll just literally take them off so I can chill. But pretty much like filled throughout. Yeah, thankfully.
That's great, man. You're doing what you love, so.
Yeah, I can't complain, man.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, thank God.
Let's see here. What's this?
So this is a record that I recorded. I've been recording with this guy. The guy on the left here, his name is Fuego. Really dope Latin artist. He almost started, I don't want to say started Latin trap, but he pretty much started Latin trap in that sense. He was like one of the first urban Latin people, you know, that switched from just doing, let's say, like, you know, traditional Spanish music might be like merengue or bachata, something like that. He got hot because he was doing actual merengue electrónico, which is an electronic form of traditional merengue, which got very popular in New York, you know what I mean? And, you know, it went really well for him, but he ended up being one of the pioneers for this genre, for like Latin trap and all these things. But I've been able to work with him over the last year and some change, I want to say, as far as like recording. And this was one of the records that he did with this guy. I think he's from Colombia, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan Castro. He's bubbling now, doing shows with everybody. He got songs with all the big Latin people, you know what I mean? And this was one of the records that I was able to record for him that came out recently.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
And you did the engineering for it?
Correct, yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, because he really likes, like how you were saying, hey, you know, you stick with a guy that you like his sound.
Yeah.
We linked, and he was like, nah, you got the sound. Like, I like the way you make me sound, so let's kind of keep working. Yeah,
That's dope. And he lives down here? Or
he's from here. Well, he's not from here, but he's down here. He's been living down here for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Man.
And then what's the genre you call it? Is it Latin trap, you said?
Not this song specifically, but he got hot with Latin trap.
Latin trap. But like, explain Latin trap. Is it like the trap, like the stuff that come out of Atlanta, but the
Exactly,
Latin version.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Not like the EDM style trap. This song is EDM. Like he's been leaning into dance records and like really kind of trying to expand past what they would expect of him, I guess. You know what I mean? Always pushing boundaries. But yeah, his main, like he loves rap. You know what I mean? Like he's known for rapping. He's come up off rapping. It's like a passion of his. Like rap is his thing. But he also knows that he has a pretty good tone. Like he can sing well. Like all these different things that like, all right, cool. I don't have to just be a Latin trap artist or a Latin urban or this and that. You know what I mean? Like he can do different.
And does a
lot of different things.
English? He raps in English too? Or?
Yeah, he can rap in English too. His English is perfect. Like I know some of the Spanish artists, it's tough because like English isn't their first language, so it sounds a little shaky sometimes. But he's actually American as well. He's very, very Dominican. You know what I mean? When he's speaking Spanish, it's very Dominican. Yeah. But his English is great, so he can rap in both. He has that advantage. Like,
nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's really cool.
Nice.
And he's dope, bro. Like as a person, he's just a cool dude, very chill.
So where's reggaeton right now compared to all these other different genres of music now that's popped up in the Latin culture?
Man, it's at the top, I wanna say. You know what I mean?
Still at the top.
Yeah, because it's what drives the streets in the cities, in the little towns and all these things. Like you're not gonna hear too many of. You might get records like this because these are dope for like club records. And to be honest with you, bro, like a lot of Latin-based countries, we like partying. Like if you go to DR, there's somebody on a corner blasting music every day at every hour, chilling with some beers, doing whatever. So it's like the environment is almost meant for any type of record, but reggaeton still has a very big grip on the community. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Dope.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's see here. What is this? I love the art.
What you think about on my own? What you think about on my own? What you think about all day?
This is a song by SX. He's from the UK. He's really dope. I met him through Rico. He's one of the artists that Rico works with, and like him, they're very, very close from what I understand. You know what I mean? But he's really dope as an artist. He's really dope as a writer. He produces as well. And this was one of the last times he was in Miami that I got a chance to record him. You know what I mean? And I love recording with him because he's very creative. He's very spontaneous, and he'll want to try things and he'll adjust and like really come up with really cool concepts to change how something sounds. So it's really, really cool working with him.
And he's the guy on the left or the right?
He's the guy on the right. And then the guy on the left is, I guess it's a caricature of Trippie Redd.
Trippie Redd.
Yeah, yeah. But this was a record I got to do with him, like as far as recording. And yeah, man.
I love the name SX, like the way he wrote it. That's fire.
He flipped it.
Yeah.
He's cool with that, bro.
All right, that's how he's focusing. Nice. Let's see here. Oh man, you next to a legend right now.
That's him, man. That's the guy, Nile Rodgers. That was that same day. That was the Daddy Yankee session.
That's from the Daddy Yankee. Wow.
Yeah, I specifically asked. I was like, bro, you mind if we get a piece? He's like, man, come on, let's do it. Like, and he was cool too. Like, we were supposed to link. He mentioned that day, like, hey, listen, you know, I'm gonna be in Miami a lot more now. Like, let me know if we can continue working, you know. But I literally didn't get his phone number. Like in the midst of, you know, just sending the files and backing up and this and that, like I never got his phone. So if he's watching this, please hit me. This is my Instagram.
Dope.
But yeah, man,
I'm sure he'll find
cool,
you,
bro. Yeah, for sure. We'll find each other for sure.
And this was at Criteria, you said?
Nah, this is actually at that Sony studio.
At the Sony?
Yeah, there's a private Sony studio that they just got maybe like a year and a half ago, man. Yeah, they
I'm
redid
sure they made it really nice.
Oh my goodness. It was already a dope studio as far as like the build out. But like branding, color wise, setting the vibe, how we were saying, they really just revamped it and made it like something else. You know what I mean? And it's a compound, so it's cool. Like, so everything's closed off. The artists can feel free. They built like a chef's kitchen downstairs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's next
you
level.
Go in there and do your thing.
Yeah, man.
Nice. All right, let's see what's this here.
That's my wife, man.
It's your wife. Nice. How long you guys been married?
We got married in 2018.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man.
Congrats.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man.
This is like a little vacay day.
Yep. It was for her birthday. So we went to DR for a week.
Are any of you guys from DR?
I'm Dominican.
You're Dominican.
Yeah.
Where is she from?
She's Cuban. Her family's Cuban.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man.
I've been to DR, I think once or twice.
Got you.
Had a great time.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. I'll be trying to go back, man.
Yeah. How is it being married in your industry? Like, how is it dealing with?
I mean, it's not tough, to be honest with you. It's rough in the sense of like we don't get to spend as much time together as we would like. So that's honestly the hardest part. But other than that, man, she's very understanding. You know, I communicate. Like, it's very easy once you're clear on what's going on. You know what I mean? So it's been great. It hasn't really been nothing terrible, bro. We have a great relationship, thank God, man. And she's understanding. That's the main part.
Does she come out to the studios with you and like hang out and stuff like that?
Very rarely. You know, I try to get her to come more often, but she does feel like she's intruding. You know what I mean? Even though I tell her like it's cool, it's a creative space, it's open. You know, it's an open environment in that sense. But she's like, no, you know, it's work. It's your job, and I don't want to like. She feels like she's imposing. I'm still gonna try at all times to get her to come to the studio.
Always gotta try, man.
Yeah.
Always gotta try.
But you know, whenever she's comfortable. But yeah, she can come through whenever. Yeah. It's rare, but she does do it from time to time.
No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. She's been great, bro.
And I'm sure like the work that you do, do you find yourself like going back to her with, oh man, like sharing those stories with her in those moments?
Oh man,
like,
she's the one.
Great,
yeah, right? She's the one I talk to. I don't really speak much, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so she gets to hear all these cool stories and all the little intricate details that might get lost, you know, further on down the line if I try to remember a story or something. Like, she's really good with like keeping that information and reminding me of things I've done and all these types of things, you know, which I think is important too, bro.
What does she do?
Right now she works for Lululemon, that clothing brand that's like kind of sporty and all that.
Nice.
She likes it. It's cool.
Yeah, man, that's good, man. And, you know, I don't know if you guys have kids, but like
not yet. No.
Her knowing these things is the thing she can share with your kids. You know, even when you're away, they'll let you know.
Oh yeah.
That's good that you do that, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. Oh well.
She's an essential part of this operation.
Yeah, you gotta have that. Well, let's go here.
Yeah.
You got some big boys in here.
Yeah.
Who's these guys?
Yeah, so the guy in the red tracksuit, his name is Drop. He's been one of my mentors from the first studio I started at, bro. Like, he's a producer as well, but he engineers a lot. And besides teaching me a lot of, like, tips and tricks and all that stuff, he would just give me, you know, like, game, you know what I mean? Like, actual mental game and making sure you're being considerate and, you know, a bunch of different things that come with this industry that me as a young kid I may not have noticed, you know what I mean? I definitely didn't know, and I might not have noticed at the time, but he's been really great, and we've kept a great relationship throughout the years. He'll always call me for stuff if he needs me to record something because he produces, you know what I mean? And this was one of those scenarios where he had a session set up to get a record with CeeLo because he's known this man to his right, success, and he linked them up like, hey, listen, you know, my boy's trying to get a record with you, you know, let's see if we can get in the studio. And this was that day. We went to this place I think it's called Camp David Studios, if I'm not mistaken. And bro, CeeLo's great, funny dude, you know what I mean? Yeah, bro, super chill.
Now, how is he live? Because he's got a very unique voice. You know, hearing him.
It's really him. It's crazy because it's like it's really him, you know. That voice of his is the prize, you know what I mean? The way his tone sounds, the character of how he says things, all those things is the prize when it comes to CeeLo's music, man. But it's great, bro. He's great.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Man. And he can rap. And he really raps, man.
Bro. I mean, I used to love hearing him in Goody Mob.
Bro, he really raps, bro. And
he's like,
don't think he's falling off. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
He's fire, man.
Cool. All right, let's see here. What's this?
If you heard what the F I did,
then you will understand why my pockets getting best I bid. What my ex didn't do, then the next guy did. Cause I don't even stick around if the sex not.
So this is a record that I got to record with Dream Doll. She was in town for a few days, again, at Criteria. They called me in. They were like, look, we need an engineer. Boom, pop up. And it's for Dream Doll. And she was cool, bro. They came. They wrote the record. They got a few, I think, that day. But this was one of the ones that they really, really, like, knocked out the park. Yeah, man. And it was a cool process. Her team is cool. Like, everything was dope. And I like the way the record came out.
And Capella
Gray. He wasn't there at the studio. This was one of the songs that, like, he sent to her, like, hey, listen, let me see if you can get a verse on this and all that. Or however they set it up. I don't know, like, how it happened with their teams. But he was already on the record, which is cool, though, because the record came out great. The way he sounds is incredible. I believe he records himself. I'm not 100% sure. But I do know that he's very involved in, like, the technical aspect as well of his recording and how he ends up sounding, you know. But it was really cool. That was a nice record to do.
And with, like, records like this, how does it work? Like, do you, because if they're sending the record and you guys are just coming to meet at the studio and this is like your first time working with her, right? Are they just trusting you with just, hey, go at it however you see it and then they fine tune? Or is there like a guideline? Like, are these labels coming with like, oh, well, we need
X, Y,
this in her vocals or in their vocals or whatever?
Not necessarily, because it's not as formal as that. You know, they might say, hey, listen, you know, she's used to recording with these settings, or maybe she likes this mic particularly or a certain set of headphones. At the most, that's what you'll find, you know what I mean? But other than that, as far as engineering or anything like that, they kind of let the person who's in the seat do their thing for sure. Okay. Yeah, they trust, especially going to a studio like Criteria, because it's highly rated and, you know, established. He's not just calling anybody, you know what I mean? Like,
they know they're getting quality from there. Yeah,
there's a certain minimum that you got to be able to deliver, you know what I mean? Which is cool. That's why I'm very blessed to even be able to get those phone calls, you know.
Oh, that's great.
That's
great. I can't, unless I've heard her singles, I can't say I've heard her. I know I heard the name.
I
heard her and stuff like that.
She dropped a couple. She's a New York artist mainly, but she definitely got a few records that, you know, other people know outside of New York. You know what I mean? Like, it's her stuff is kind of cool.
Have you ever, like, worked with, like, an artist like this and then you tried to slide in one of your...
one of my beats like, yo, I got one of these joints. Not without them asking, let's say. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people will actually ask, which I find cool. Like, oh, you know, do you make beats? Like, what else do you do? Because engineering, it's a big part of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's all you do. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people do a bunch of I mean, you're a multi-hyphenate, man. You know what time it is, you know? But it depends on who it is, you feel me? But sometimes they'll let you slide one in.
Dope.
Yeah, bro.
All right, I love the lighting here. Let's see what you got going on here. Who's these guys?
So this was a dope session, bro. That's Afro B. That's the guy that did the Joanna record. One of my favorite records. I
love his song Condo. With T-Pain.
Yes.
Love that record.
Bro, incredible. He's an incredible artist and an incredible guy. Like, he's been very cool. Anytime I've met him, he's been humble. You know, this studio is actually mine and that guy I was telling you about, one of my production partners, DJ Junior. We got this spot together. And these guys that you see in the background, they're a team of producers and writers as well, but they're big in, like, the Latin market. You know what I mean? They're signed to Steve Aoki, but they're mostly Latin-based as far as, like, writing. But it was a dope collaboration because obviously it's, like, people that you wouldn't normally put in a room together. Let's put them in a room together, you know, vibe out, have them get records.
So this was a collab record between him and
Correct. Well, so the guy that you see on the far right, he's an artist, but he was playing the role of the writer for this session because they were going to try to get a feature for the part that he was writing. So Afro B writes his own stuff. He did his thing, gave him an incredible banger, you know what I mean? and then he came in and wrote like a verse for what would be a Latin feature. So that's pretty much what they were doing that day. I'm not sure exactly which artist they ended up getting on it. I don't think the record's out yet. But if I'm them, I'm not wasting that record. You know what I mean? I'm making sure it's coming out.
Dope. No, and Afrobeat's big. So
Yeah, man.
that's definitely not a throwaway.
Definitely not, man. Definitely.
Cool, man. Yeah, no, I love him. He's that Condo record especially. Like, I listen to that all the time. The video's fire.
I haven't seen the video yet.
Yeah, it's a great video.
I gotta watch it.
And you know, T-Pain's in it, so it's extra fun.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah, he'll take it there for
Yeah.
sure. That's his thing.
What's this here?
So this was a record I ended up recording. I got called in by that guy that I was just telling you about, that he's like a mentor to me, Drop. He knows these guys, Hanser y Raul. They're very, very big in the Cuban community. And Drop's Cuban. His whole family is Cuban. He got a chance to work with these guys because they needed to, they wanted to do a record. And I believe he ended up producing it, if I'm not mistaken. That's like his production. And he called me in to do the vocals. Like, hey, listen, man, I got these guys. Like, they're real Cuban legends. They did a bunch of very impactful records, for the Cuban people. And I got the chance to work with them, man, and it was great. They were really cool. They're older now, though, so it's like their dynamic is funny.
I hear the old vibes in the music.
Yeah. It's like an older salsa type record, you know what I mean? But it was cool. It was fun to do, and it meant a lot for Drop, and that whole audience. You know what I mean? Like, it was a big deal for them. But
I grew up in Little Havana, so I used to listen to all that. My dad was super into Latin music.
Damn.
So I used to, I've listened to all of it. Like one of my father's favorite artists is Oscar de Leon.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So I play his music. I have it on my playlist. I jam to, like, it passes by that song when I hit the shuffle button. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, this is cool, man.
And
it's good that you get to, like, work with so many different genres.
Yes, man.
Which makes me even more interested to hearing just how with you having all that influence on you, how does your stuff sound, being able to be around all that stuff,
It's cool because it depends on like who you're working with at the time and what's needed for the song, for whatever's going on, whether I'm recording or producing, anything like that. Like, that's that magic that I was telling you about, seeing all these different perspectives and all these different character types and like how things play into what the song ends up sounding like. I just pull from there, man. Honestly, I just pour it into the record.
Are you ever in a session and then you hear something, and then it inspires something, you go home and like build on that?
100%. Yeah. I feel like if it's got to be, at least with musicians, if you want to aim for the top type level, you got to be in a room that inspires you. You know what I mean? In some way, shape, or form, or even a comment that sparks a thought of like, well, what would happen if I did this? Or, can I try that? Or, man, this is cool. Like, I take all those things and I'll go back to that home studio you saw and I'm tinkering, and that's the real lab. You know what I mean?
Right,
I'm experimenting with stuff.
That's fire.
What I mean?
That's fire. One of the things that amazes me about, like, when we were in the studio with Rico those few times is I never, I've been to a few studios over the years, but that was my first time watching the writing process done at that level. And to watch how he just do that, you know what I mean? And how he drew, it made me think of him, what you were just saying, how you just drew inspiration from The Room, because I noticed that's what he was doing. He was, you know how he likes to talk and have these conversations.
And then, he'll pull you into some deep conversations, bro. You know what I mean?
And he'd have these conversations, and the next thing you know, he goes in the booth and you hear some of the stuff that he was talking about.
Right.
In the writing, you know what I mean? And how he puts it together. And I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, he's incredible, bro. He's incredible because of that. And it's like, it never feels forced with Rico. You know what I mean? Like, that inspiration is genuine. He's really like, he wants to know how your mind works, or you know, how you're feeling about something, and he'll really turn that into something because he knows that being real, that truth, getting to that truth is how he's gotten to get these big records.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being true to the feeling or being true to whatever it is, the expression, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy watching him work.
Yeah, you're around some dope people, man.
Thank God, yeah, bro.
All right, let's see here. You got some dope album covers here. Oh, Space Jam.
Yep.
What'd you do on here? This is Sweetie?
Yeah. Yeah, so I recorded her part for that record. So that was another one of those criteria sessions. They called, you know, hey, listen, we got this. They need this. I was like, let's do it. You know what I mean? So she came in. She was cool. They had the record already. Like, I think she had already been living with it for a second, just so she can kind of like get into it. So when she was there, she just had to kind of come in, vibe out for a little bit, and then go in the booth and record, you know, do her thing.
Did you know it was for Space Jam when you got the call?
I don't think so, man. I'm not 100%. Don't quote me for sure, but I'm not sure I was told that it was for this. You know what I mean? Probably during the session, it was mentioned like, hey, listen, this is what they're going to use it for. Like, this is what they need and this and that. And then at that point, you're like, oh, this is some top stuff. You know what I mean? It's some really cool stuff.
Does it ever make you nervous when you hear it's like for big projects like this?
It does, but I learned Rico actually, he's a big believer in like using nervousness, you know, because it means that you care. So it's like grab that energy and convert it into doing a good job. You know what I mean? Don't take the nervousness and then fumble or get shaky or anything like that. Like, nah, use that and really hold on to it and put it back into the work type of deal.
Dope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, something about that. I teach my daughter. She's 8. And she would get nervous, like if she has to read in class or she has to do something, and she's like, "But Dad, I'm nervous. And I tell her, "That's good. That's good. That means just like a car needs gas in order for it to go. You need nervousness in order in your tank for you to go. So that means you're ready to do what you got to do." And she would think about it. Oh, okay, and then she'd just go out and knock it out. So that's dope that Rico advised you like that. Yeah, this is cool, man. You got some great. That's a great project to have on your resume.
Man, yeah.
How often do you have to pull out your resume? At this point, it's just word of mouth.
You know, it's funny. It just happened to me the other day because I got called for a session, and then whoever I was being booked through, they were asking them for like references, like, yo, like, so what has he done and this and that. And I'm never like weirded out about it. I can understand because so many people have such bad experiences with engineers, and it's so personal. You know what I mean? Like, not just that it's a bad experience per se, but let's say it just may not match up. You know what I mean? During the course of recording, you might be like, oh man, this isn't the vibe I was looking for, or anything like that. So just recently I had to like, hey, listen, you know, here, a couple names, like, that's cool. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Because at least at the end of the day, I can stand on my work. You know, so I'm like, look, just put me in the room with them. They'll understand after, you know what I mean? And
you got to stay humble like that and not feel like that's because not everybody's going to know who you are. Not everybody's going to know your track record.
I don't even want everybody to know. I know that sounds like counterintuitive to pushing the brand, but, you know, I'm okay with the concept of that, of like, no, I understand it. You want confirmation on what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm still cool with
and that. Making people comfortable.
That's it.
It's a great thing too. I don't want to say I hate, but I have I prefer when someone trusts and believes in me and just fully like, okay, I get it. Versus skepticism the whole way. And I'm working from trying to prove to you versus just comfortably creating with you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And then things coming naturally and you get those little magic moments, you know? Yeah, man, I understand.
All right, let's see. Oh, what's this?
So this is a picture that we took. We were recording some records. The guy in the middle, his name is Chino Miranda. He's a Venezuelan artist. I've been recording with him. He's one of the people that, like you said, hey, he found me as an engineer. He was like, bro, we're locked in. We're only recording together type of deal. So literally over the last 6 years, something like that, like I want to say I've recorded 80% of what he's
wow.
done. Yeah, like a big part
Damn.
of everything that he's done. Because, you know, he's really cool. And once he found that we have our dynamic and he saw what I brought to the table, he was like, all right, cool. Like, we're good here. I like his work. He liked mine. And we were rocking, you know. Unfortunately, bro, he got sick. He has encephalitis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been debilitating. So it's been kind of a battle, but I'm praying for him, bro. And hopefully he gets better. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. So you guys haven't worked in a little bit then?
Nah, he hasn't been able to work, you know. I think in the last year and some change, something like that, you know. But, you know, just, like I said, I keep him in my prayers, man, and just make sure he's at least doing all right. I was checking in on him the other day.
And the rest of these guys are just part of his team?
Yeah, so the two guys on the right were part of management. There's a guy in the back that he does like vocal coaching. And then these two guys on the left, they're songwriters and producers. Very big songwriters and producers in the Latin world, like big records, great vibes, you know, incredible people. That's actually their studio now. They ended up buying this studio. It's called Master House. It's in Doral. Real cool spot, 2 rooms, actually 3 rooms now. This is their main room, and then they got 2 other like smaller rooms as they go, production suites and all that type of stuff. But yeah, man, a cool group of guys getting records, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, bro.
So how do you feel about, like, you know, there's a lot of people in the music industry right now making records, and you know, it's almost like a machine at this point.
Oh man,
of like the records. How is it that how do you see the industry right now? How do you feel about it?
And as a whole,
yeah.
there's gonna be, I feel like there's so much of everything, you know what I mean? Because the power is in creators' hands right now as far as like being able to make things. So I feel like it's just a job of either sifting through and finding what you like, or, you know, letting something get so hot where it's like you can't ignore it. That's kind of the place where we're at, you know what I mean? Either that or somebody's like, they found you randomly and they shared you with their homie, and then they shared you like that. Like, but it's in a place where it feels oversaturated. But like I said, there's so many different people and so many different types of characters you can appeal to that I feel like I think it's the greatest time for music.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because we have the opportunity to, like, anything that you want exists.
You don't have to go to the traditional distribution system.
You can run it up on your own, bro. You can have a fan base in Germany and live off of them. You know what I mean? Like, selling merch, going and doing your own tours. Like, all these things are actually very, very real if you're able to put in the work and willing to put in the work. You know what I mean? To take it there. Yeah. So I think we're in a great place, man. It feels saturated, but it's great, you know?
And what's your take on, like, guys, like these guys went ahead and bought this studio and built it out, versus guys like like you have a small home studio.
Right.
Like, is there a big difference now in having either or?
Yes and no, because those guys, I want to look at it like those guys that I mentioned. The guy on the left, his name is Frank Santofimio, and then the guy on the right is Ender. Those guys graduated. You know what I mean? They earned getting to this place. Like, you don't necessarily need a place like this to make great records, because they didn't have that place when they were making these great records. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where it's definitely more preferable because you can do so many more things. Let's say you have a home studio, you might want to do what we call a camp, like a writing camp, and invite a bunch of different writers and producers, but now you got eight to 10 strangers at your crib, or not strangers, but, you know, it's usually your house. Like, you don't really want too many people over there.
You got your family there.
Yeah, you know, it's usually a safe haven for you. So now with a place like this, they have the opportunity to say, hey, listen, Sony, come do your writing camp here. We're a bunch of producers. We have writers. We have everything. We have the studio. Come through. Rooms, you know, we'll sit here for a week and make an album. You know what I mean? So it's definitely has its advantages for sure over having.
It's still better to have a studio.
Yeah, definitely, no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it doesn't make sense for your overhead, like, that's what I'm saying. They're in a position where it wouldn't make sense for them to not have a spot. You know what I mean? They needed a spot to be able to continue to grow and make sure that they're giving their best to the people that they work with. They needed that step. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can definitely squeeze the juice out of any home studio or anything, man. Anything.
And at the end of the day, I guess they're still using the same gear in a sense, but gear just gives you the flexibility of
Correct.
the amount of people or the workflow and
even the amount of gear. Let's say, you know, if you wanted to record drums, it's tough to do that at home. You can, you know what I mean, but it's tough to do that at home because you might not have a console or you might not have any that type of gear. You know what I mean?
Dope.
Yeah. Could you click on that next post, the one next to that one?
This
that
one?
Yeah.
Cuando en las noches tengas deseos, llámame, tú llámame y te veo.
So this is a record that DJ Junior and I produced. Yeah, so we were able to do this record because he has connections to that guy, not this guy. So this is Sosa. This guy right here, his name is Pablo Chile. He's from Chile, the country in South America. And he was working with his manager at the time, DJ Junior is very close with. So through him, we got the link and we were like, all right, cool, let's get in, knock a few records out. We were able to record this song. It was recorded by another member of our team, Doozy. He recorded because I wasn't able to be at the recording session, but everything after, like the post-production, the mixing, all those things, Junior and I did ourselves, you know what I mean? So I'm really proud of this record, the way it came out and everything.
Nice.
You know, and actually I like both of them as artists, you know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to do another record with them, you know what I mean? I feel like it came out really good.
And this video was shot here in Miami?
I'm actually not sure where they shot it. Yeah.
Do you get involved after the fact? Like, ever come around when they're doing videos or are they doing anything else?
If I get invited, I may go. And even then, it's a stretch because I'm not really like an outside guy. You know what I mean? I like being a ghost. I'll pop up here and there and then I'm in the studio. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you.
But yeah. Sometimes. It depends who. It depends who, you know.
All right, let's see here. About 10,000 hours. What's that about?
So this is the cover art, motion cover art for my first project, my first official like instrumental release. Yeah.
Oh, wow, nice.
So I started putting it out, I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken, or the year before. My wife had a great idea. Like, look, man, you got so many records. You're also working on, this was when I was working on a lot of like my guitar skills, trying to up my guitar skills and really finding myself on how I like to sound on the guitar, what type of effects and all these types of things. And she was like, hey, man, why don't you just put an album together? You've got records, you can make more, like, let's just do it. And I was like, nah, it's a great idea. Let's go for it. And literally, with in the span of like a month, I want to say, finished up a bunch of the records, mixed them, like had them sounding how I wanted, and then I put it out. I believe it was for my birthday that year, and it ended up coming out a couple days later because of the you submit something for distribution. There's like a lead time for it to actually get picked up by the DSPs. So if you wanted to be out on a certain date, you might got to upload it maybe like a week or two before. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was like right on the deadline of like trying to put it out for my birthday. But it's all good as long as it's out. I'm cool. You know what I mean? And I was able to just share a bit of my art with the world. And
you said it was just instrumentals?
Yeah, it's all instrumental. Anything I've put out has been instrumental. I've done I did a random single in between this and my second project, and then I did a 3-song instrumental project as well that I put out at the top of last year, I believe. Okay. My timelines get confused, man.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, definitely,
Okay. And then, real quick, some of these names, Dark Side, Lifeline, Transition, 1991, Light Side, and Euphoria. What Like, explain some of
the
these
inspiration.
titles.
Yeah. So the intro, I actually got the intro while I was doing Euphoria, which I felt was like a cool way to like loop. I like a clean, I don't know how to explain it, but like cycles.
Mm-hmm.
The universe to me is about a lot of cycles. You know, that's really all it is, ups and downs, and like things come back around, and that type of, like that's a concept that I really keep in mind a lot. So when it came to making this, I was making the last track in preparation for putting out the album, and I ended up hitting like some reverse, you know, I reversed one of the sounds and something was cool, and my wife was like, yo, that might be like, that could be the intro. And I was like, nah, it's perfect. Took that, chopped it, and put it. Dark Side, I named it that because it's more of the heavier style, like minor chords. It's a little bit of a darker sound. The guitars sound a little scarier, you know what I mean? It's not like death metal or anything like that, but it's more of a ominous sound, I guess you could say. And then I wanted to keep the actual music transitioning. That's why the middle one is transition, because it's like going from the intro, which is no light, let's say, it's dark side, then Lifeline, bringing in, Lifeline starts with a heartbeat. And you hear a heartbeat going, and then it's a song, then transition, and 1991 is the year I was born. So it's almost like a birth point somewhere in there, you know what I mean? Then we got Light Side, which is like a cool upbeat type beat, and then Euphoria, which is kind of, it ends up, after Light Side, it ends up transitioning to just something where you feel weightless. That's how I wanted to describe it. You know what I mean? That's how I wanted to make it feel. But yeah, that's the inspiration behind all this. And then my wife actually did the cover art for me. So she's the one that put that motion on it. That picture that's moving in the middle, she took a picture of me playing the bass or something like that. And then she throws it into these apps and flips it, you know what I mean? Messes with it a little bit and put it together, you know?
That's fire.
Yeah, man.
And why 10,000 hours?
Because it was my journey, my start into me putting in 10,000 hours into guitar. Because it's like, it's an instrument I've always loved. I actually got my first guitar from Drop, my mentor that I was telling you about. I did a deal with him. He was like, listen, if you fix this other guitar for me, I'll give you this one. Because it was just sitting there, bro, for years. And then one day I asked him, I was like, yo, what's up with this guitar? And he's like, you want it? I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll buy it off of you. He goes, I got, you know, I'll do you one better. If you swap this out for me on this other guitar and do a couple other things, and we'll just trade. And I was like, all right, I'm cool with that.
What kind of guitar was it?
It's an ESP LTD FB 200. So if you look at it, like if we were to pull up a picture of it, it looks like a metal guitar, like people, you know, but it's really cool. It sounds good. My first guitar, I'm in love with it. You know what I mean? There's better guitars out there as far as like tone or depending on the genre that you want, really. That's like the main difference that you'll find between guitars is just how the characteristic of the guitar sounds, the wood, the type of strings they use, like the pickup in the middle that actually grabs the strings, like all that stuff makes a difference. Yeah, man.
And it's one of those, you got to plug it in. It's not acoustic.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Dope. Well, this is cool, man.
Appreciate it.
You should be proud of yourself for doing this. You know, every time you can just create your own and be able to put it out, I think that's a great accomplishment.
Thank you, bro.
And how long ago did you put this out? Back in 2021. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And it's on where? It's on iTunes and...
Yeah, you can find it everywhere. Spotify, Tidal, Apple, Google Play,
nice.
wherever.
I'm going to check it out.
Appreciate it. Yeah, for sure.
Check it out. All right. Let's see here. I see some dope... Oh, man. Okay, I got to stop on that. This looks fire.
It's crazy.
La nota que me pegaste en el carro cuando me besaste, baby tú me impresionaste, qué mala tú, todo lo planificaste, mi corazón te robaste, inyectándome seducción, te amo. I lived a long life, but I ain't come alive till I found you. It's been a long ride, and I don't wanna die without you. I lived a long life, but I ain't come alive till I found you. It's been a long ride, and I
So who's the artist on this?
So the main artist on this is this guy named Arctic. He's Russian, bro.
Russian.
He learned Spanish so he could sing in Spanish because he loves Spanish music so much now. Like after the explosion of Despacito, the whole world got injected with the fever of like Spanish music, which I love. Obviously, it's an advantage in that sense for me. But this guy was really cool, bro. He came in. They were like, look, we need an engineer that's English and Spanish because he's trying to do this. So he needed a little bit of help with like the Spanish as far as pronunciation. He actually knew the language itself, but to make sure that he sang it clean and that it didn't sound, you know, too off from what it's supposed to sound like, at least recorded. He needed a little bit of help with that. But it was a really cool process, bro, because he's like, he was very dedicated, you know what I mean? He's very serious about his stuff. And then King DYFL is on there too. He's the one that's doing the "When I See Your Smile" in the background. He's the guy that's doing that, and he has a verse on it as well. But it was really cool, bro, because imagine it's this Russian guy singing in Spanish and English, you know what I mean? Got a feature, like, it was really cool, bro.
Crazy.
Really
Yeah,
cool.
I know this Israeli girl who, she's Israeli, but she learned Spanish. I think she moved to Colombia or something for a while.
She learned by immersion?
And she learned Spanish so she can sing. She does Latin music. She's
not
Israeli.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But that's the way to do it, I feel. You know, if you got the opportunity, at least, like, immerse yourself in the culture and, like...
To me, I mean, I think Latin music is probably the biggest in the world.
Numbers-wise, right now, we're having a run, you know what I mean? Because of Bad Bunny.
Everybody's everywhere. Like
He's at the top, bro,
like,
yeah.
Anywhere you go, you hear it.
That's a fact, bro.
It's like, I mean, Afrobeats is, you know,
that's where it
the
comes
world
from,
too.
But which is where it comes from. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Those vibes I think everyone around the world love those vibes. So even if you don't understand what's being said,
correct.
But the vibe is so great.
Yes,
you know,
you feel like you're transported to wherever they're trying to put you. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I love Afrobeats, actually.
Yeah.
I listen
I don't know
to
nothing they're
Afrobeats,
saying, but
bro, but it makes me feel incredible anytime I hear those records.
Yeah,
literally.
Fire. Yeah, Burna Boy is one of my favorites right now.
He's a problem.
So, and you know, it's funny. I was with Bosch at Atlanta once at Jeezy's studio, and Jeezy's manager they were working on a record or whatever, and I was just there, and then they were like, "Damn, we need to get an Afrobeats guy on this record," and And then the manager's like, "Yeah, we got this dude out of she's from Ghana, one of them, Nigeria, one of those places." So she's like, "Oh yeah, back home, there's this dude, Burna Boy." But nobody knew who he was
right. At that time.
And she was like, "He's fire.
Right.
He's fire. We got to get him." Everybody's like, "All right, cool."
Like,
cool.
We'll get him, you know.
I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year later, first time I heard him, and I was like, "Oh, this is the dude she was talking about." Fire.
Yeah, incredible. Man.
Huge
blew you away.
Yeah. I was like, okay, she knew what she was talking about because he is incredible. And I love the art right here, whatever the album cover, these animated album covers that they're doing.
Yes,
beautiful. Man.
I'm a big fan of those, to be honest. But that's the cool thing with this artist as well. You go through. He has a label because back in Russia, he has a group. It's Arctic and Asti, a female singer, and they do records together. And you see all their branding, and it's all nice, clean work. It's beautiful. Like, they really, you know what I mean? The marketing is really on point.
Dope.
Yeah, man.
Cool, man. Let's see here. What is this? Is this your playlist? You sharing your playlist?
Nah. So this was
this is Rico.
An album that Rico put out, man. He came up with a cool concept. He wanted to get a bunch of different R&B, like just singers, real talented singers, like singers, and bring them down. He flew them down each, wrote records with them, had them recorded, you know what I mean? Gave them a great opportunity, you know what I mean? All these different things, and then put it into one compilation album. You know what I mean? Shot a couple video, you know, like promo things for it, like, and it came out really cool. And I was able to record a couple of the records on there.
Nice. Have you ever had any of your beats? Like Rico ever used any of your beats?
Yes, he has. It's not stuff that's out yet, but we've worked on a couple production things together. Yeah, man. Yeah. Fire. He's fire, bro. He's got records for days, though, bro. Records.
No, he's definitely one of the geniuses of songwriting.
Yes.
For sure.
He will leave you dumbfounded, bro. Trying to keep
I mean,
up
he's
with-
wrote some of my favorite. I'm a huge Usher fan.
Oh Lord.
So
yes,
when I heard it was him that was like behind some of that, I was
Yep.
like, damn.
this is some shit.
But that was a review. All
Yeah.
right.
Even rap records, bro. Like French Montana,
record.
he did Ain't Worrying About Nothing for French.
Really?
Yeah, bro. Snapped. Went crazy. Went crazy. He went crazy.
Yeah, I got to hear more of that. I really want to go down and like his track record and just see the things that he's been a part of.
Carve out some time, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
He's
sure
been.
it's gonna blow my mind seeing that.
Yeah, bro.
Let's see here. What's this? Deborah Cox. Oh, you worked with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard her a couple times.
Yeah, so this was a song that Rico did with her. D-Town produced it. I was able to record it. Rico called me and like, hey, look, we're working with Deb. Come on through. You know, and she's super cool. Her husband is super cool. You know what I mean? Like, the record came out dope. They worked on a bunch of records, bro. Rico and her got some real dope records, bro.
Fire,
yeah,
fire.
man.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear more of her.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I've met her a couple times through those guys.
Gotcha.
She's super cool, man.
Yeah,
She
man.
has an amazing voice.
Down
And
to
still
earth.
looks beautiful.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
of course, you know what I mean? But like,
Of course.
after so long, she still just got it.
Mm-hmm.
The talent, the everything.
The
man.
poise, everything's cool,
Yeah,
bro.
no, that's great, man. That's great.
Yeah,
Can't wait
bro.
to hear it. And this is something recent?
Nah, this was already a couple years ago, but they have more records in the cut. Like, their clip is loaded, just waiting to let them go.
Start
You know what I
getting
mean?
out.
Yeah.
Wait for the right time.
Straight up.
Who's this?
So this is...
That's extensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to work with him directly, but this artist named Jimmy Levy, he was very close with X, obviously before he passed and everything. Excuse me. When he passed, his mother was going around and getting records so that she could put out his album that he was working on. And one of the songs was this record that she wanted to get this guy Jimmy on. And it came through Rico. Well, actually, Rico and him had linked through Byron, this guy named Byron, Cleanface, that Rico works with a lot. And nothing, man. You know, Byron was working with Jimmy, brought him to Rico and said, hey, listen, we got to get this record done. And, you know, X's mom came through and, like, sat in the process. And it was really a special song. You know what I mean?
Wow. And they came already with his vocals that they knew they wanted to use, or did you
Correct.
guys have to go through?
Yeah, no, they came with his vocals already. And it was just cool because it's like, if you listen to the record, you know, it's pretty much a topic of like literally wanting to be here, you know what I mean? Not wanting to leave and making sure that we make the most of what we got for real, you know? Like and Jimmy, bro, Jimmy is he's the male Adele. I'll put it like that. Like, he's an incredible singer, you know? His songwriting is very unique. Everything's different, you know, but his voice is top notch, bro.
Damn.
Top notch, yeah, man. So he was able to really deliver on what they needed for this, for sure.
And this record is out and everything?
Yeah, this one's out. This one's out.
Nice. Let's see here. 7 a.m. I like little interesting stuff like this.
I didn't name myself. The name was given. I can't go by ASAP on the boards and not be particular of my sound. The name's literal. I'm not vocally over my records, but trust me, I'm dead. P's dead. There's pieces of me in all my pieces. But I can't take all the credit. The city influences a lot of my sound. It's so loud, there's so much things going on at the same time, but it kind of all manages the flow. I felt like that's kind of what I do. Bring listeners here, bring y'all to my world, P's universe.
Ride or die, live from the streets, down to survive.
Empire Taste, that's dope.
Yeah, man.
So what was this piece about? What was it for?
So this is a homie of mine, ASAP P. He's a producer. He worked with ASAP Mob a lot. He did a bunch of records with Rocky and a couple records with like Ferg. He did a bunch of records with this guy named ASAP 12. Like just the whole ASAP crew, he's been involved with them for a while. But this project came about because he did an entire album with this other artist from New York named Sha Hef. He's like a New York street rapper, like real gutter, you know what I mean? But his stuff is super dope, super fire. They've been working together for years and years and years. And I was just, man, it was super cool because like he always trusts me to mix his songs. Anytime he has a record that either he produced or like he has a say in what's going on, the end result sonically, he'll hit me up like, yo, bro, you know, because we've been rocking together since high school. I met him in high school in that same engineering program that I was telling you about. And, you know, we've been locked in ever since. And anytime he's had opportunities, he'll bring me along like, yo, bro, this is what we're doing, you know what I mean? And it was cool. I'm proud, bro. I had to post it because it's like, not even about just what I did, because I am proud of my work too, but just the fact that my man's got a commercial with Marshall, you know what I mean? And it was like showcasing his music with an artist that he works with, you know what I mean? And it's like, it was really cool to just even witness it, let alone be a part of it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so it was cool, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
this is me supporting the homie, bro.
Isn't it crazy? Like as you grow and you see those around you who's like growing too and doing their thing, and
it's inspiring, man. You know what I mean? Because he'll call me. We have great conversations. P and I, we have great conversations because his energy is always amazing. You know what I mean? He'll call me and like he'll either motivate me or like, you know, tell me some jokes or something, like something to lift spirits up, bro. You know what I mean? And that's always been our relationship back and forth. Just some really cool, fun vibes, like getting things done, but in a way that feels natural because we're actually really cool. You know what I mean? So I'm just grateful.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, bro.
And it's a very raw commercial ad, so I know that's, I'm sure it did well because people like this.
Yes, yeah,
know?
those quick cuts and all that.
Quick cuts and just from wherever they're at. And
yeah, because he's originally from New York. P's from New York, but we met because he moved down when he was like in middle school or something like that. I didn't meet him then. I met him in high school. Yeah. But like he's always had that New York vibe to him. You know what I mean? So that's always played a huge part in his fashion and his music, like the way he sees the world and all these things. It's been really cool.
Dope.
Yeah, man.
Let's see here.
See that? I'm sorry. If you scroll back up where it says PSA.
Is there?
That's the album that he put out that has one of that record that was in the commercial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is the cover for Sha Hef's album.
Nice. How old is he? He's about your age too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's see here. All right, this grabs my attention. What's this?
So this is a single that I was working with this production company called Unlisted, and we ended up working with this artist Manu Manso. She's dope. She's a really great like singer, writer. She got her own vibe. I met her at another studio called Red Dot. That's where we ended up working with her because she was signed to she had a manager that actually worked out of that same building, and it was just like a cool relationship for them to have. And nothing, these guys that are in the picture, we worked on the record with her, you know what I mean? Getting the production ready, putting all the video together, you know what I mean? Like it was a real from the ground up effort, you feel what I'm saying? And I'm proud of it, man. We did a couple things. We have a couple records with her, I feel.
How often do you, how often are you in the studio and you're cooking up with these guys, either engineering or making the beat or working with the songwriters or whatever, and you feel like, damn, this is a hit. Like you just can feel that this is gonna go.
It's tough to say because in the moment, like there are certain moments where you'll feel it, but a lot of the times it's almost like keeping your head down, not on purpose, but just like, oh, we're in the middle of the storm, so you don't realize it, and then you hear it back after, and then you're like, oh, okay, hold on. This record feels different. You know what I mean? This is something special. This is gonna move people. I would say it happens. It would sound weird if I said it happened all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because not every song is a hit.
Yeah.
But there's definitely those moments that cut through. Definitely magic moments where, you know, you'll get a record or even just a line that will set off the whole song or a certain sound or something where you're like, oh no, now this took it to the next level. I know anybody's going to like this record.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it happens. It definitely happens. It's sparse, but when it does happen, it's magic for sure.
What would you say is the biggest record or project you've been like, even not knowing, it just you was part of it in some way, and and it's somewhere big. Right
Somewhere
now.
big. Dang, man. I want to say I knew about it though at the moment, but I want to say I was able to record Travis Scott for a record that he did with this Spanish artist named Rosalia. She's very big in the Latin world. Obviously, we know how he does in the English world. Like, so I got the call to come record. They told me who it was. I was like, yo, that's crazy. I pull up, and I didn't know at the time that he was doing a song with that artist. But when he got there, he pulled up the record. I was like, nah, this is going to be incredible. Like, from the moment I knew that it was them two linking up, I knew it was going to do something crazy. You know what I mean? Because, like, she's not a normal artist. She's going to give you some incredible music every single time. She's very particular about how her voice sounds. She's in the mix. She's in the edits. She's really like particular about everything. And so is Travis. He actually records himself too. So like during that session even, I recorded some, but he recorded some as well because he likes to get on and like do his own edits in Pro Tools to the beat and all this stuff. So like that record, like I said, from when I heard that it was going to be them two, I knew it was fire. But then listening to what he did to it after, I was still like, nah, he snapped, bro. And it went, you know, it went high up, bro. A lot of people love that record.
Do you have any posts about it here on your social?
I don't think so, bro. I have a picture with that he took during that session that I came out in the background. But I'm not sure I have it up right now. I might have archived it.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's see here. Oh, we're at the beginning already. All right, cool. So there was something I was about to start doing, which is
okay.
I don't know if you saw it on one of my other ones, Russian Scrollette.
Nah.
Where I would just randomly slide through and you would tell me stop and pick. But since we got to the bottom already, to the beginning, because I want to talk about your very first post that you have here. Is this post your very first post or just is like a revamp page?
Nah, it's a revamp page for sure. Okay. Yeah. But my very first post was just like some personal food, a picture of food or something like that. Yeah.
I think most people, their first... I've noticed the beginning of people posting is a lot different than where they're at now.
For sure, yeah.
You know, kind of trying to finding yourself.
Yeah.
And you kind of figure 100%. Out a lane.
Yeah,
but
this is the clean version. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is there any other posts here that you'd like to touch on? I know him. What's his name again?
Kimani.
Yeah,
man.
Oh, you know who I thought he was? Life. Remember Life Jenny?
Yeah.
That's what I thought he was.
Nah, that's the big homie. That's the big homie
Kimani. Yeah.
Man, he's an incredible artist too. I met him at that same studio that I started at. And it's funny because the first time I met him is the first time I met Don years ago, which is crazy because he was coming in. You know, Don is self-sufficient. He's a producer. He can write with you. He can record you. He can do whatever. You know what I mean? He's a producer by default. You know what I mean? But he was coming in that day because he was recording him. And from that day, you know, the next time Kimani came in to record, he didn't have an engineer. So they were like, oh, you know, let me see if you could record him and this and that. And then that spawned like a whole slew of recordings that ended up turning into what this album is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, which is really cool, bro, because he was looking to do an album. Yeah. And it was just perfect timing. You know what I mean? Like we met each other at the right time and and the sessions got going. So it was really cool, bro.
Yeah. I've worked with him once. For a shoot at actually their home down south.
Wow.
So I got to meet the whole family, Junior Gong, all of them, even the kids.
That's crazy.
Beautiful. They have like this huge, it's like houses. They bought like a couple houses next to each other and they all like beautiful. But there was twice that I was supposed to shoot videos with him where the artist featured him
Okay.
on the record. One of them was with Vegas. So he did a record with Vegas.
Oh, wow. Fire.
Vegas produced, and they have behind the scenes of it, and I shot the video with Vegas. But he was supposed to show up. He never showed up.
He never showed up. Damn. The show
never
must
showed
go
up.
on.
But he would be on the phone like, yeah, I'm in the middle of this, and hey, I'm coming.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
eventually we were waiting too long, and I just shot the video without him. But I
Got
did. What's the name of the song? I think it's called "This Is It" with Vegas, featuring Kimani Marley.
I got to listen to it.
Yeah, it's great. I had a great time doing the video. Had Fire Breather in the video and all kind of
Lord.
great. Yeah. And it was simple.
Okay.
We shot it at this place called Naomi's. It's this Jamaican, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Vegan restaurant down there on 71st.
I feel like I've seen that before, bro. Yeah.
you might
That's
check it
crazy.
out. It's a dope video. He was supposed to be in it, didn't show up. But then I did another video earlier this year,
Okay.
and I forgot about that.
What happened?
About the first time, right?
Yeah.
So he was gonna come play a role in the video
Oh, wow. Okay.
for the video, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't show up again.
Oh, for
He
two.
didn't show up.
There's no
And it's like halfway through the shoot, and we're waiting on him. And I'm like, oh, hold on, I was supposed to do this. He didn't
This
show up.
feels familiar.
Yeah, he didn't show up last time.
Nah,
but you know,
Kimani, his schedule was crazy.
yeah, that's what I
for
say.
sure,
He's like, you can't get he's
Exactly.
Roddy Barnes,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's what
Just
I'm
the
saying.
fact that he
Bro.
even you got in contact with him and even say he would is
That's
a
a
blessing.
fact.
You know what I mean?
That is a fact, yeah.
But when I did the shoot with him at their house, he pulled out the guitar and we would shoot some shots of him, and he was just riffing and just kind of like, and I was like, damn, man, this guy's
He's a real musician,
Yeah,
man.
he is.
Real musician, bro. And his whole, man, it's cool, bro, because like, he's a real family man, which I love. You know what I mean? Like, anytime we were in the studio, like, he had his sons with him, his daughters would come through. Like, it was always like a family vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially because the people that he makes music with, he's considers family. They're pretty much family with him. You know what I mean? Some of them are his actual family. But other than that, like, he really locks in with them. You know what I mean? So it was just really cool to be around, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man. And just to be, associated with that legacy
Man.
and have a, like you can
go
down and say, yeah, I worked with
Like
the
I work
Marleys
with-
in
yeah,
one
I work
way,
with the Marleys, man.
Like I did a shoot with when Junior Gong and Nas. Remember when they did their album together?
Yes.
So I shot some promo stuff with them at
my
Circle,
God.
not at Circle House, at Criteria.
Okay. Wow.
We had one of the studios there, and we filmed some stuff with them there. And it was like
That must have been next level. Yeah.
two legends, you know what I mean? Got to
Literally.
work with two legends. It's crazy. It's like people used to tell me, man, why don't I don't post a lot of the stuff that I've done.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
sometimes when I sit back and I think about the things that people I've worked with, I'm
I
like,
can
damn.
only imagine, bro. That's right. Like I should have been.
I should have been taking pictures this whole time. I didn't know this was going to be a thing.
That's a fact.
All right. So before we go into your first post for this revamp page, tell me about what you post to say. Like you posting, what is it that you posting for? What is it that you want people to get out of your post? You're giving pieces of your story out.
Yeah, I want people to kind of get a feeling of who I am musically. I'm a very private person when it comes to my personal life, but musically, I want to express anything that I have. You know what I mean? Anything that's on my mind, anything that's in my heart, I'd rather express it. And the way that I do that is through music. So when I'm posting about stuff, it's like it's really me celebrating in that sense, because I don't like talking about, like, this is the most talking I'll do about this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But on a day-to-day, I'd rather, my joy comes from actually doing the stuff that I like to do. So when I'm posting it, it's more like a reminder to myself, like, hey, listen, you worked hard on this. You're proud of it. Post it. Let other people share in your enjoyment of it, and keep moving. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, there's always, God willing, there's always more work to do. But that's mainly my thing. When I'm posting, of course it's, excuse me, it's also promo, it's also marketing, it's also, keeping people, letting me be fresh in people's minds as well, because that's the age we live in. Like, this is my business as well, obviously, so we got to push it forward. But, I consider myself an artist, and part of that is me posting about, like, look, all these pictures and songs I'm a part of and all these things, they all have little pieces of me, like how you're saying, you know what I mean? I like to impart. I think that's why it's such a cool process as far as like music goes or anything creative, really, because it's like a combination of different people's ideas, thoughts, feelings, and like things that only they can, you know what I mean? You're you. Only you could have set this up this way. You get what I'm saying? And give this vibe that you got. So I feel like anything that you do, you leave your imprint on, like how you were saying, and it just adds to, hopefully it's adding to what the final product is supposed to be. So this is more of like it's A, a reminder to myself, and then B, it's like a celebration. It's like, all right, cool, you did this, cool, let's get some more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how proud is your family of you when they go here and watch you doing what you do?
Yeah, nah, they love it, honestly. That's like a huge satisfaction for them to see me living out my dream, really. You know what I mean? Because it's like a lot of time sacrifice and other types of sacrifices went into even me being able to do this. You know what I mean? Like my dad and my parents putting me through the school that I went to and all these things, like getting the resources to be able to make it happen. And then it's like seeing this, having it come to fruition, it means the world to them. And to me, for them to be able to enjoy that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that whole process too, you know, so it's cool, bro.
That's beautiful, man. How about your folks back home in DR?
In DR, they love it, man. They love it. Especially like the Romeo post. He's like a superhero. You know, he's a Dominican superhero to us. You feel what I'm saying? So it was really cool for them to see that. Like it's a big deal as far as like a bucket list accomplishment that you can't really, I can't get paid enough for that. You get what I'm saying? Like it was just one of those things that like it's just a beautiful moment that was able to happen.
So when was the last time you went to DR?
Last year, literally November, a year ago, I want to say.
When you go, are you like, you know, oh, Ace is here, like you know what I mean? Are they like excited because you know when you especially like when you've done things with people that your people admire, and now you're like.
Right.
Your cousin, and you're
right. I'm right there.
You was with that guy that I like.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
Like, how does that? How do your family?
It's not as much as you would think for the music side. It's still like that. They still have that same reaction, but just because they love me, you know what I mean? That's literally what it's about. Because a lot of the times they may not understand the music that I'm involved in. Like the Latin stuff is a little bit easier, obviously, for them to understand. Like as far as who they are and what they've done and all these things. But even then, it's tough for me to translate like how this works in this on this side. But yeah, they're super proud, man. They're always super proud, and like I said, they love me, so they're excited either way. I'm always excited when I go over there. And then I also have like a cousin, I think it's like a second cousin of mine or something like that. He's pretty much like, he grew up next to us, like next to my grandma's house, the whole thing. But he's really popping out there as a producer. So it's like, it's almost, not that it's not a big deal, but it's almost like, nah, this is fire. This is what we do. You know what I mean? Pull up and
it's becoming a thing.
Yeah. This is our thing. It's a family thing now.
That's what's up.
Yeah, bro.
Well, actually, before I stop here, I saw this.
Yes.
Who is this? Gunplay?
Yeah. The guy.
Man, Gunplay is dope, man.
Bro, he's one of the best rappers, bro.
Yeah, I love Gunplay.
One of the best, man. I was able to do this with EPS, DJ EPS, because he was working on his own tape at the time. And he also, so he was working on his own tape. He brought Gunplay in to do a record for his own tape, but then he was also hosting this tape for Gunplay. So I was able to record a couple records off of this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I worked with Gunplay once, and is when I met him. And of course, you see him on TV and whatever, and you're expecting this. And he, not that he's not.
Right.
But
yeah,
he's so chill.
Yeah, he's a person, bro.
Yeah, he was just so chill, so cool, you know, like friendly, like nothing, you know, crazy the way you would think.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I love the cover here.
He went crazy, bro. He went crazy.
I like to hear the record. All right, so this is your first post or your latest post. What is this about? So
this is a song called Glock Rivers. My homie that I was telling you about, ASAP P, he produced this. This is ASAP 12E. He worked on a bunch of records with 12E, and this was one of the ones that was like the joints. This one's special for me because it was like one of the first records that my boy P sent me to mix that they actually like kept and put out. You know what I mean? And it was like a big deal. It still is a big deal for me because it's like it's ASAP, you know, and it's like part of building what 12E's legacy is now. You know what I mean? Like these are some of the core records that like after people found out about him kept him going. You know, and the fact that my boy produced it, a big plus. The fact that he had me mix the record, another big plus. So it's a special record to me. And I really liked how it sounded because I was being very experimental when it came to the mix, and it paid off because my boy was like, yo, that's perfect. That's what I was looking for.
Nice,
you know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah, so it was cool, bro.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you what, when you revamped your page and kind of like wanted to start fresh from here, why did you choose this as your start off point for that? What would you say, in addition to what you just said, because I think you kind of answered that in there too.
Man, it was just, I feel like it was like, it felt like the cleanest start, I guess you could say, you know what I mean, that I could possibly have. Putting out work that I'm proud of, starting off with a mix, you know what I mean? Like, I love recording, like I said, but I'm looking to expand into more areas as well, you know, so I do mixing, I do production, and all these different things. Like, I'm getting into songwriting, you know, I'm not great yet, but I put time into it, and it's going to get there. The same thing with the guitar. But it was important for me to have that post first because of that. You know, it was like, this is a great starting point, and I only wanted to go up from here. You know what I mean? That's kind of my thought behind it.
No, that's fire. That's fire. And I love these, I love this type of like, I mean, you know, of course I'm a visual guy, so I'm
for
looking
sure.
at the way they laid this out. And I'm very impressed by the eye of like the younger generation and how raw it is.
Yes, very gritty, like
very gritty, very just like simple. And there's and you could see that there's just like his height and weight and you know what I mean, like
the player card. You know what I mean? They use the P from the Pacers. It's like
why? You know what I mean? Like I love that. I love the stories behind this kind of stuff. Like why did they choose to do this?
So I think at the end of this record, he has a sample of Doc Rivers talking, you know, like answering a question that a reporter asked him, but it was like some stupid question. So if you listen to it, like it's a funny clip that they threw at the end, but I think that's why they called the song Glock Rivers, because he took inspiration from Doc Rivers and like flipped it and said, all right, cool, boom, I'm balling. So that's why they made the cover like a basketball card. You know what I mean? I thought it was hard, bro. Maybe that's another reason why I wanted to have it up too, because it's like, yo, visually, not only is the song good, but visually it's like, it's striking. Like you said, you're like, all right, cool, boom, damn, what's this? Let me check it out. You feel me?
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of that one.
Nah, you should, man. You got a lot of good stuff, man. I look forward to, you know, definitely doing this with you again. Yeah, because I know over time you're gonna be accomplishing a lot more.
Appreciate
and
that.
Doing a lot more. You're doing a lot of great things.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming to do this with me, man.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Answering the call.
For sure.
Or the text. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you for thinking of me, man.
Nah, no problem.
Yeah,
for sure.
it.
And, you know, of course, I do what I do.
Yes.
And eventually, at some point, we got to collab on something.
That's a fact.
And
That's
work together in that capacity. But, you know, good luck with everything you're doing, man.
I appreciate
keep doing
it,
the great work. You know, I know there's a lot of people who, you know, they do what you do and they do what everybody. Like, there's people that do almost everything.
Yep.
But when you come with more than just the skill, and you come with the presence, you come with the good energy, you come with just a good vibe that people like to be around.
Gotcha.
I could see that from you every time I've been around you in the studios and things like that.
I
could see like
appreciate
people
that,
just
man.
enjoyed being
in the same
around
place.
you, and then you're fire on what you do. It's like
That's crazy.
It's a win-win. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
Keep
for
that going,
honestly.
man. And I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, man.
All right,
for
bro.
sure.
All right.